Smitley here, Smitley.com, bringing a training log video with commentary week 5 recap of meet prep for the APF Summer Bash. After having a pretty rough week 4, that wasn't even filming from being out of town and everything, having some issues with the low back after that drive, I basically got everything sorted out and was back to training. Still run with the safety squat bar, and as you can see, things look pretty decent overall. You know, there's still some very minor hip shift, but I would say that I pretty much got things resolved from going to the chiropractor and getting some soft tissue work done and things of that nature. I am kind of sitting to that right hip. You can see a little bit. It's not too bad. It still needs to get worked on, but I'm making progress, at least in this regard. I'm pretty happy about that. We'll continue to see how it goes. I'm going to be working with a new chiropractor that's actually relatively close to where I live. I mean, he's still about 35 minutes away, but it's much better than going to Indy. So hopefully that will help. And he's actually going to end up doing some ART and some soft tissue work on me as well for each session. So I think that's something that's going to help me long term, where I wasn't getting it. I was getting that here and there, but it's something that I need consistently on a consistent basis until I get this cleared up. But it's progress, and it's moving in the right direction. Some pause squats, 5 to 10, again, warm and big. I know these max effort lower days kind of tend to repeat themselves. The whole goal is basically just to try to stay healthy, even though that's been a little bit difficult. But as you see, things are coming back. I think that whatever happened whenever I was in Minnesota, just more of a mishap and sitting in a car and combination of really dumb things. But just trying to keep my positive momentum going forward, as I feel like I'm making some right steps to getting back to being able to train my squat, at least with a straight bar, to some extent here in the future. Max effort upper from Sunday's work. This was basically a shirted session. Had to be really quick. I would have liked to have a little more time in the shirt, but basically worked up to that 365 for a double with the reverse light bands, threw the shirt on, and went straight to 415. Managed to get that to touch, which I was really happy about. That's a really good sign for meet day. Went to 465, another pretty big jump. That was even easier, and I thought just overall felt like a better rep. Then went to 505. Again, I think this was probably my best bench I had all day. It was right where I needed to be. I probably should have thrown a dime on each side, taken one more time, but I was kind of short on time for the day. So basically went back to doing some more of my raw work. One board against some chains here. Basically what I did was I started with 235, 2 plates on the saber-tooth bar, and just kept adding chains. I went 2 chains, 3 chains, 4 chains, and on this last set we eventually, I think I got 3 here, and then I ended up pulling the chains, essentially doing a drop set, keeping the board, and then just hammering out. Just trying to think of a quick way to get some more work in without eating up a max amount of time. But I would say that my triceps are continuing to get stronger. I'm making some progress as a whole across the board, so I'm very pleased with that. Dynamic effort upper from Tuesday, nothing overly dramatic or crazy, more speed work. And I was actually making up for some of my lost deadlift time as well from the week prior. So still running with the buffalo bar and some chains. I was actually able to get some training in with Trey for the day. He needed to try to get some training in, and so did I. So he came over and helped run the monolifter and my speed work, and then I helped him. And we kind of did some accessory work and kind of called it a day. But it was definitely nice to actually have someone pull the mono for me on my speed work. Haven't had that done in a while. But I thought my speed looked pretty good. I was actually a little leery on this again after my back stuff, but it seemed to go really well. And I think I'm gonna have to be a box squatter for at least probably a chunk of change for a while, until I make sure I'm good to free squat straight down without shifting that right hip. The box actually helps prevent me from doing that, because I got something actually stopping me and keeping me level. It is consistently training my depth, I guess, as well. And I'm not the greatest box squatter in terms of performance, how it is with my regular squat. I do decent, but yeah, I would like to see it being better. But again, it's right now just a training means to get me to where I need to be able to be competitive, fully raw again, and be able to get back in the 500s, which I feel I'm not terribly far away. It's just a matter of building that confidence up and build my CMS back up into those weights, because I haven't even had anything 400 pounds or more on my back or in my hands for deadlift or squat since my competition, since training probably back in December. So it's been a bit, but everything looks to be pointing towards the right direction. As I said, I doubled down on deadlifts. Basically did my speed work against chains. I think this was 325, and then 5 chains. Pretty smooth. Pretty happy with the way most of them looked. There were a couple reps that are out in front of me a little bit. I'm still trying to get a hang of this hook grip, keep everything tight without losing everything. It's pretty much it for the speed pulls. I mean, they're pretty steady. However, I did do my 5-3-1 work after this on my deadlifts as well, so I pulled the chains off. It was a 3s week, so I did like, I can't remember exactly the weights. It's been too long. That's what happens when I get behind on my logs. But pretty much I got up to, I think, 360 for a set of 3. I pulled it for a single with hook, and then pulled my 3 reps with the straps. Felt really good, at least for coming back, so we'll see what happens whenever I get to go heavy again in 2 weeks. Dynamic Effort for upper. Still sticking with the bow bar here on this, and some chains. 150 bar weight, looking pretty quick and locked in technically. Again, I think, yeah, Trey ended up coming over for this session again, was able to give me a lift off on my close grip work, which again I hadn't had in a long time. I just pretty much got used to training this by myself. You know, I'm usually semi-fatigued from the speed work, going close grip, just doing a top set of like anywhere from 8 to 6, depending upon the week, and you know, it kind of keeps the weight down as well. But getting a lift off ended up actually helping. I think I tied a rep PR on the workup set that I had. I think it was like 230 or 225 or something like that. But you know, I'll take it for the day. I was actually, I'm pretty sure on this training day I just wasn't feeling it. I think I remember saying something to Trey about it. So, you know, take what I can. Then I pretty much stripped some weight off and just did some reps with my competition grip with this bar. I mentioned how I'd be getting in a little more volume doing that, considering I am doing bench only meat, and my recovery is a little bit better since I'm not squatting and pulling super heavy all the time. So I thought this was pretty good as well. Nothing too hard. I say pretty technically locked in, but it was a good enough job to make me have to stay technically efficient and, like I said, get some extra working on my triceps. So, one more week of the Buffalo bar, and then we will go to the straight bar for the last half of the speed work sets. So, be patient as I try to get my logs up. I apologize. I'm working basically 3 jobs at the moment. I'm trying to make some ends meet for some stuff. So, but that's all I've got for this training log. Hopefully I have the other one up here the next couple days. Thanks for checking in and keeping my stuff over at elitefts.com.